We're supposed to start. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. No, let him restart it. Yeah, just give us like a hand signal.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, Ollie, shush. The wild and the weird.
What is going on here?
Histories
And mysteries.
I'm Icarus, Flora.
And I'm Ollie Evans.
And welcome to Histories and Mysteries. Hello, welcome to the first official episode of our podcast.
This is so exciting, oh my god.
I know. So I am Icarus, Flora.
I'm Ollie Evans.
And we are here to talk about...
Some cool things.
Yeah, and since this is officially our first episode, how about we get to know each other a little?
Alright. You want to go first?
You want to go first?
I don't want
So...
Go ahead.
Okay. So you're going to be kind of focusing on the mystery aspect of Histories and Mysteries, correct?
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be on the histories part?
Yes. I like the history side of things because, honestly, it's just so wild. It's so just interesting. So what's got you interested in mysteries?
I think that is just... I don't want to say that I'm like a believer, but sometimes I do. I think that it's really interesting to like think about if, these crazy, weird conspiracy things happen, what it would be like if they were real and
So like
reality.
Area 51, who aliens exist?
Oh, yeah.
Do you believe Area 51?
I do believe in aliens very much.
Like-
I will argue with people over my belief in aliens.
Okay, yeah, but like the universe is ever like expanding,
Oh, yeah.
so
There's
we
no-
can't be the only living organisms. That's like honestly scientifically impossible.
Exactly. And I don't know how... Area 51, I don't know if I believe that there are aliens, but there's definitely some stuff going on.
Oh, there's stuff going on there. Anyways, so how about we hop right in?
Of course.
The Radium Girls.
She was my best friend, and she was a good worker too. And then before I knew it, she got sick and had the broken jawbone. It never healed. In 2 years, she was dead.
Peg's trouble started when she had a tooth pulled, and it wouldn't heal. It was all honeycombed from the radium. The tooth never did heal.
So, radium. Back in 1898, it was discovered by Marie and Pierre Curie. So, this husband and wife duo basically discovered this new element when originally doing research on like an entirely different mineral. So they were able to isolate radium into its own kind of like element from this mineral, which honestly was a mistake because things are going to go downhill.
Oh.
So radium is naturally luminescent. Like, it's not like a glow stick where you gotta crack it and then, it glows. Or it's not like, I don't know, glow-in-the-dark paint where you have to shine a light on it and then glowing. But, basically, glows forever, doesn't stop glowing, and this factor made it a very popular material in product production. So the product production here, in this case, is going to be like, it's like painting. So they would use radium to paint watches. They would paint the numbers in the watch dials so it would be easier to tell the time, like, in the dark. But in order to do so, the painters needed very fine-tipped brushes. And here's where things really get weird. Or I should say really get bad. So in order to get these fine-tipped brushes, the workers would have to either like dip them in water and then do it by hand, but that takes too much time, so they started putting them in their mouths and between their lips, between their teeth,
Oh, God.
and just
So they ate it.
Oh, they ate radium. And, like, the paint they used, like, it was a lot of radium in the paint.
My first day at work. Well, I thought I didn't like it. Because after, you know, they learn you to put the thing in your mouth, that's the first thing they taught you. And I felt when I went home at noon, I'd never come back. Because I was telling my mother, and my mother said, well, what do you know what you put in your mouth? And I said, well, it's the stuff they put on the clocks, you know, they illuminize it. Well, I don't think, she said, that's good. What do they have to put in their mouth for?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, a lot. It wasn't just like, oh, watered down, just a pinch of radium. No.
Pure radium.
Pretty much.
Oh, fun!
Yes, very fun. Radium.
Nice time. Sounds yummy.
So, yes. They ingest radium. So, the first time that this was, like, really picked up, like, the effects of radium really just was, like, you know, like, noticed with these girls, these workers, was when one of the workers, you know, one of the workers, her name was Maggie. Basically, she was having, like, it started off as just like, oh, I have a headache. Oh, I have toothaches. But then they started getting worse. Like, she could barely open her mouth.
Oh.
It hurt to talk. So she went to the dentist. The first time, they were like, oh, we don't know what's wrong. Here, have some ibuprofen or whatever meds they had back then. But then, like, over time, her teeth started to rot from within her mouth.
Oh, that's
And,
fun.
like, not even, like, slowly. Like, I mean, like, this was happening fast. Like, this was, like...
Like over a couple of days or like in a couple of hours it happened?
Well, being still alive, I mean, like, yes. For being alive, this decomposition was considered very fast. I'm not sure if it happened in a number of days or a number of weeks, but doing damage fast, and, like, this came out of nowhere. Like, just full on out of nowhere. So, the first time, so before rotting, they removed a tooth. But the gum area of which they removed the tooth was not healing over properly, which only helped the rot progress.
She wasn't working anymore, right? Or was she still working?
Oh, she was still working,
Oh.
even with, like, missing teeth rotting. Actually, at one point, the rotting got so bad, she had to keep her mouth closed, or when she would talk to people, it would just, there was a very noticeable smell that would come out of her mouth if ever she opened it. And, like, it was bad. She had teeth falling out daily.
So was she still putting this stuff in her mouth?
Oh, yeah. They
While
didn't
they-
know.
Oh, cool.
They thought it was syphilis.
Oh.
When she did die, eventually they determined it was syphilis, which I don't think that's a symptom of syphilis. So, anyway, she started having ulcers and was just, like, bleeding from her mouth because, like, the mouth is going to be the main area affected since, you know, they were ingesting the radium from there. And it got so bad that the place where the teeth used to be would be just, what's the word? What's the word where it's, like, and it's, like, coming out, like...
Oh.
Basically, pus would flow out of the area.
Of the gum hole?
Yes, but this
Oh.
pus was...
Oh, that's gross.
Okay,
That's so
but,
gross.
like, this pus wasn't just, like, some, like, infection. No, it was actually part of her bones. It was her jaw.
Oh my.
So, basically... Okay, the effects of radium...
Just hang on. It decomposed her bone, turned it into a liquid, and it was pouring out of her gum?
Well, maybe not decompose, more like breaking down.
Oh, fun. That sounds really nice.
So basically, radium, like long exposure to it, like she has, like, and I'm like, these girls who are working here, it was like at least a solid good amount of years before, like,
So they were ingesting this stuff for years.
oh yeah, but then like
Great.
symptoms really don't start popping up. But when they do, it's just like getting hit by a train. It just, it's just there. It
So it
happens.
happens rapidly?
Oh, very much so.
Like, would it take multiple tiny paintbrush worths of putting it in your mouth to start this, like, whole mouth decomposing? Or would it be more of, like, over a couple of days ingesting all of this would start that? Like, would the bad side effects start immediately, or would it be after long doses?
Well, it wouldn't even be after long doses. Once it's in your system, like, depending on the amount of it, and, like, you know, they're licking it, like,
I'd
it's
assume,
a very potent,
like-
the paint they use is very, like, I guess I could say rich in radium. So even that little bit, they just, like, I don't know, licked off their paintbrush to make it have a finer point. That little bit, you know, it just kind of piled up until... I'm not really sure on the exact, like, dosage of radium or, like, exposure to radium you would need to, like, have your bones start decomposing. But, yeah, basically, good amount of time exposed to this stuff made things go downhill. So, radium basically just... It causes cancer, but the type of cancer, it's bone cancer. So this can affect your bones. It most likely will affect your bones. So it makes your bones weaker. It reduces its growth. So if you were to break your arm, it could heal naturally. It will create new bones. But if you had, like, they called it radium poisoning, if you had that, it would just never heal.
So it destroys how your bones work.
Oh, yeah. And not only would it not heal, it'll just continue breaking it down. Anyway, back to the mouth. So, this is, like, on her, like, she visited the dentist, like, millions of times. So, basically, during one of them, this is when, like, she had no teeth. Her mouth was just, like, one giant open wound.
Oh, my God.
Of just...
Did it break down gums, right? It did?
Oh, it can.
So if they took out the tooth and there were, like, the holes there, would it become just one giant hole in the gums? Or would it be, like, the
Not
separate
exactly.
teeth holes?
I'm not 100% sure. But, yeah. So, basically, this one time she went to the dentist, she was having a little trouble opening her mouth because it would hurt too much. So the dentist gently, and I mean, like, gently, like, imagine you're holding a puppy gently, like, just holding it up. Like, the dentist very gently grabbed her jaw and started pulling it down, you know, to open it gently. Gently. Not hard enough to pull the entire thing off.
No, please don't.
So basically, she had no lower jaw.
Oh, so he ripped the skin to everything?
Oh, no, not rip. Like, he was barely touching it. He just was, like, holding it enough to support it in his hand. Like, gently pulled down. And then it just kind of went... No more jaw. Oh, no. Her jaw. It's broken. So,
Oh my God, that's so
the
bad.
decomposition of the bone.
So it affected, like, the muscles in the skin?
Oh, yeah. It's not... Well, the way
there's
it
more
works...
bone than, like, skin on your jaw.
Yeah, but, like,
my God.
bone...
That's so bad.
Like, if you were to see a skeleton, bone doesn't decompose.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Exactly, but radium, I shouldn't really say decompose, more so
Breaks
it
down.
breaks it down, yes. But when it has no more bone to break, that's when it really starts attacking the muscles and skin around it and, like, weakening it.
So it starts from the inside out, like bones, and then goes out?
Pretty much.
Oh, great.
So, oof, owie, no more jaw for you.
Did she die?
What do you think?
Oh my god. I feel so bad for that dentist. That person was traumatized.
Oh, definitely.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I'm showing my friend here a couple photos.
So
So if you were to Google Maggie as Radium Girl jaw, you will get some fun
Oh my
photos.
God.
I am showing some before and after photos.
Oh my god.
And if you can't tell by my friend here's reaction,
Oh yeah. Okay. So oh my god.
it gets worse.
It looks.
So along with radium decomposing the body from the inside out, it would also cause it would just cause people to just spontaneously just faint.
Oh, fun.
Anyway, back to the jaw.
Yeah.
She survived for maybe like a solid 6 months after her jaw fell out, where she eventually died.
Okay, you're telling me that her jaw fell off and she didn't die? Or immediately?
Didn't die immediately. No, about 6 months after. So they were just like, oh, maybe this is just a weird case. This has no correlation with radium, because they believed radium to be this, like, magical healing property.
Want to get your pearly whites brighter? Try radioactive toothpaste. Is that a sad, boring piece of toast? Spread on some radium butter for a tasty treat. Looking worn out? Don't forget to treat your skin with a Radium Cosmetics for that bright, youthful look.
Was this before? Do you know if this was before or after germ theory happened?
Before or after what?
Germ theory. Do you know what that is? It's when they found out what germs are.
Well, this is like 1920s, 1930s.
let's
This
find
really
out.
took effect.
Let's find out.
I'm gonna say maybe germ theory.
Oh, it was made in the 60s. It was found in the 60s.
1861.
So this was after germ theory.
Yes, but even germ theory cannot connect this together, because if anything, germ theory is like the spread. This was like, it's not like contagious, no. It's like from direct contact. That's how
But still trying to figure out how
trying to figure out how
eating this thing could cause this kind of sickness.
or just being around it. That was like, they had no idea, because again, they saw radium as this, oh, it cures your sickness. Oh, it makes you pretty, yada, yada, yada. Like this basically all healing material. Anyways, so they had there was like, they did not connect dots being like, oh, this happened because of radium. But then all of the other workers started showing similar symptoms. And you can probably piece together what happens there. More, well, not exactly jaw.
More
but-
jaws on the ground.
Yeah, it was really a jaw-dropping case. I will not apologize for comedy.
Quote unquote comedy.
Okay, so quick reference. This is like 1920s right now. Maggie finally died. Then the rest of the girls started dropping like flies, and they still weren't able to connect this back to radium. They didn't want to connect it to radium. But in 1925, they finally connected it. Like, finally. But, radium's a big money maker for us. So, like, the CEOs of these companies and stuff paid a lot of money to get, like, oh, radium's causing all this death covered up because they wanted money. So basically, finally in 1925, it was discovered, like, oh, geez, radium's causing this. But it was covered up. It was covered up. Yeah. It was
Radium
covered
death.
up. More died due to that until, like, 1938. One of the people dying from radium poisoning actually, like, successfully sued the company that was painting these watches for poisoning them with radium, even though they knew it was deadly. And, like, even before all this happened, the watch company had scientists working for it to figure out ways to get the, like, you know, manufacture, like, more paint stuff, make
The
things
shine
more...
without the dye.
Oh, no, this was before the dyeing, just the shine part. Just the shine.
They were trying to get it more shiny, or they were trying to find out a different way?
Trying to make it more shiny and trying to figure out ways to produce paint more efficiently and all that jazz. So actually one of the scientists was walking in the studio where the girls were working on the watch dials, and he saw one of the girls do the lick brush, make it better, make it finer point kind of thing. And he warned the girls. He said, that will get you sick. Don't do that. And he wasn't the only one. Like,
Was this before?
this was before they
She died?
started dying.
Oh my god.
Like, a solid year before they started dying. And, like, the scientists kept saying this, like, don't do that, that'll get you sick. But, again, the bosses, the CEOs, all that jazz wanted
Moolah.
money. And, again, it was still very, very believed that radium was, like, the cure, like, all of that. So the bosses would just say, oh, it's fine, it's fine. The scientists, the people who study this stuff for their whole lives don't know what they're talking about. And it's just like, that's...
Scientists were like, no.
Yeah,
Please.
yeah, like, even now I can hear them just, like, rolling in their graves over this. So basically, in the end, since this one girl was able to successfully sue the company, more people were able to, therefore having to shut down the company. And then after this, the dangers of radium were exposed to the world. And that concludes that story.
That was a really nice story.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I liked it.
Yeah. So that concludes the first episode of our podcast. This has been Histories and Mysteries. I am Icarus Flora.
And I'm Ollie Evans.
And thank you
Thank you very much
for listening to Histories and Mysteries.
This podcast was produced at the Central Port. For more information on this topic, come to the port and check out Radium Girls, The Dark Story of America's Shining Women by Kate Moore.